Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to Six News. Today we're breaking down a new operator Grim who is coming with Rainbow Six Siege's new season, which is called Brutal Swarm. Now my first impressions of Grim were that basically he's a nomad, a little bit different, but he would work as an anti-roamer and kind of lock off different areas of the map. That's how I thought he was going to play. Totally wrong. This guy is a killer and he's all about pushing sites. Now of course you can use him in different ways, but we'll go over why I think this guy is just going to be pretty lethal and very capable. So first of all, he's actually more like Capital and Lion combined together. So he has a launcher which fires out these big balls that I'm pretty sure are far too big for the barrel of the weapon it's coming out. I'm actually going to test that in the Mythbusters later. But anyway, like Capital, Grim needs line of sight towards his target, not direct line of sight, because his gadget actually falls, just like Capital's firebolts. If you shoot the roof, the fire will actually fall onto the ground. It's very much similar to that, and it affects a kind of similar sized area as well. But unlike Capital, it doesn't do any damage. It sends out these little bots that fly around. They look very weird, and they'll detect any defender who enters that swarm. They'll also stay with that defender as they leave the swarm, resulting in you being able to track their position. And it's a ping just like you would see with Jackal or Lion, and this can affect multiple defenders at a time. Also, the canister is bulletproof, which I was not expecting. I thought this might be like a Yin Candela, where you do have a small opportunity to destroy it before it deploys. But no, it is bulletproof, along with being melee proof, although you can destroy it with explosives. And Grim has a total of 5 of these canisters that he can shoot out in quick succession, no reloading of his gadget, and to me, he's extremely powerful. I thought he was going to be all about tracking down roamers, or maybe these were going to be like proximity detonated or things like that. But no, these things get fired in, go off immediately, and they detect in a good sized radius, about the size of what Capital's firebolts would cover. So they're really, really good. And if you're pushing in with a team coordinated and Grim's just firing these off into different rooms and corners of an objective, you're probably going to end up actually pinging all defenders in that location. But it does come with the downside of Capital, where you do need rough line of sight. So you might end up just dying, peeking a corner, trying to fire this thing off. But that's where your smarts come in, because if you play this operator smartly, of course you're not going to shoot directly at any room or stuff where you think someone's hiding. You're going to aim at the roof. So you're going to be behind cover, firing up, so that the gadget actually falls from the ceiling down. Of course you can also play with different levels, either shooting this up through destroyed floors or down through destroyed floors. So for instance with Nomad you can do that too, but it's usually not so effective, whereas of course this is giving you a ping every so often to locate the defenders in that area, resulting in the ability to just shoot through the floors to kill someone, so that's going to be handy. And I haven't even mentioned yet that Grim is a 3-speed operator. Like, he is going to be very good with this gadget and with his loadout, although his loadout is surprisingly limited. So he's going to have the 5.52 Commando as a primary, alongside that the SG CQB shotgun as well. But going back to the Commando, it's a very good gun. Of course that's the one IQ has, and I think it's awesome. So looking forward to that being played on this operator. But he has no magnification options for sights. He only has the 1X's to play with. And I think that actually plays to his strength and is not going to be a downside at all. And then for sidearms, he's got the P229, and secondary gadgets are either Breaching Charge or Claymore. Now, although I think that Grim is going to be played aggressively on sight, but of course there's going to be other viable tactics as well, like simply shooting this gadget to where you think a defender might be holding an angle in order to reveal their position to your entire team. And I can't even comprehend the potential of Jackal and Grim teaming up to go after roamers and being extremely lethal. But let's talk about counters, and we'll go more in depth on this in the Mythbuster episode. But right now it looks like Mute is probably the strongest counter, but that's situational, so he's not going to be brilliant against this operator, and no one else kind of directly counters him. Of course his gadget will get captured by Magnets and Jaeger's ADS, but the problem with that is because he has 5 of them, he can burn through your ADS with his gadget. So I would say that's more of a strength for Grim rather than Jaeger or Wamai. And that's kind of mostly it for counters. The only thing I'd maybe suggest to the developers is if I see a swarm of these bots in the air, I'd like to be able to throw an impact grenade to actually destroy the cloud so that I can then move through undetected. I think that would be a really nice counter to have. But anyway, that is the basics of Grim, and we're going to move on to the conclusion now because I've had about 5 days to play with them, and this is what I think. Now, of course, we'll go more in depth with the Mythbuster series later in the week, but with the time I've had with Grim, I think that he's going to be one of the strongest operators this year. I thought that Sen's last season was a bit underwhelming, whereas Grim is probably way on the other side, and I think this is basically the character for old Ashe players. You know, when Ashe's pick rate was really high, I think the players who are playing her are going to love playing Grim here. And with the ability for this gadget to actually ping the defenders to your entire team, I could also see it having more utility than Ashe had back in the day. So yeah, I think Grim here is going to be a top pick for fraggers and is going to be extremely dangerous. And just looking at the basic numbers, so he has 5 shots from his gadget, he's got an extremely good loadout, and he is a 3-speed. So I think we're going to have a top-notch operator in the new season. And also the new season is apparently coming pretty quickly. We should have a 2-week test server with the new season launching on the 6th of September. And of course, they've tried in the last 2 seasons to launch in a 2-week window. Didn't quite pan out. We'll see if third time is a charm. But yeah, so far I'm super impressed with Grim. You just have to get past the weirdness of his gadget with these little circuit boards that are flying around you. And of course, it looks very weird from the defender's point of view as well. Of course, when you're actually playing Grim himself, the actual gadget feels much more physical with this big thing you fire off. You don't usually actually get close enough to see these little bots flying around. Whereas on defense, it looks very weird to have them flying around you and watching you. But anyway, that is a look at Grim. He is coming with Operation Brutal Swarm, which will be launching on September 6th, fingers crossed. And let me know in the comments below what you think of this new operator, his gadget, his loadout, his weapons, his counters, and can you see, tactics that you think you better use to absolutely destroy the defenders with this new 3-speed operator. Anyway guys, thanks for watching and I'll catch you next time.